Good morning, everybody. I'm Pastor Scott Velain with Holy Impact Ministries. Have you ever tried to show someone something in the Bible only to have them turn and walk away? Have you ever prayed for a loved one in the past or someone in your family that just would not listen? Have you ever had a loved one mock you and talk about you behind your back because of your faith? Well, stay tuned this morning, because the truth is, you're not alone. We're going to be talking about the burden of Elijah this morning and what many of the prophets just like him had to deal with in their time. And we're also going to be talking about and taking a look at how they dealt with the loneliness and the hardships that come from walking out your faith alone. And so, again, and why exactly it is that it is well worth the pain and the suffering. So stay with us this morning. I think you'll be glad that you did.
Welcome to the Velain Report, current events, Bible prophecy, and news and analysis for Christians worldwide. And now your host, Pastor Scott Velain.
Welcome this morning. It is a blessing to be with you. Again, just a beautiful, beautiful morning out here in the eastern Ohio Valley. About 67 degrees, and the sun is just blaring out there. There's not a cloud in the sky, and we are ready for spring. Spring has sprung. There's no question about that. Welcome, everybody. This is one of our first podcasts of 2023. And so if you are joining us today, you right now are in it with us, and it is just such an absolute blessing to be able to be here and to be with you this morning. And so you're kind of really embarking on a new journey along with us in this new podcast that we have put together. And so once again, we just want to say welcome. It is just a great time of the year. Let me tell you, this year in June, I will turn 61 years old. June 21st, first day of summer, is my birthday, and again, I'll be 61 years old this year. And I don't remember a spring that I have been so excited about in all of my years. And I don't know why that is, but this year, for me, is just an exciting time of the year. It is the time of the year when the fishing tournaments start, and there is flatbread baking in the oven, and the Passover is here. And of course, this all points to the beginning of Jehovah God's New Year. Again, New Year's does not occur on January 1st as we think it does, according to our Roman Catholic Pope Gregory, our Gregorian calendars. God's New Year starts at the beginning of his Passover. That's the head of his year. And that happened back on just this last month, March 21st, when we had a new moon hanging in the sky and the barley was ripened in Israel. Both are signs that tell us that Jehovah God's New Year has begun. In fact, right now today, as of April 10th, this Monday morning, we are still in the Feast of Unleavened Bread. In fact, tomorrow, Tuesday, will be a high Sabbath for us. And that is a day that no work is to be done. And so we are just finishing up our Passover week this week, also known as the Feast of Unleavened Bread or the Feast of Matzah. And it is just a blessing when spring comes around. And this year, for some reason, and I don't know why, but I am just exhilarated with the oncoming spring that is in the air. You can smell it in the air. You can feel it in your bones. Here in Ohio, we have quite the gray monochrome winter. If you live in an area where you have one season pretty much all year round, you're really missing out on quite a bit. You really are. The last few months here in Ohio have just been wet, muddy, gray, monochrome. Everything has died. You can stand in front of the forest and look right through the forest and you can see back in for quite a while. That will not be the case here in another 30 days. Things are already budding up. The branches are stretching out their arms, and things are budding, and you will not be able to see 2 feet in the woods, let alone walk 2 feet in the woods, unless there's a path there. It is so green and so lush and so beautiful here in the great state of Ohio that it is just the smells, the sights, the sounds, everything is just so different than it is during winter, of course, when everything is asleep. And so we just started, the fishing tournament just started last week. My son and I were out on the water last week for the very first fishing tournament of the year. And my son is a professional bass fisherman. He has the boat and the gear and all of the stuff. And oftentimes he'll take me down to Alabama Fort to Gunnersville Lake and different places like that along with him. And I am so blessed by that. He's invited me once again to be part of the tournament this year. And he just blesses me continuously. And I cannot give Yehovah God enough thanks for my son Matthew. He's just a very good hardworking man, but he is a good fisherman. He is a great fisherman, and I am essentially the net bearer, if you will. So on the boat, I'm there with the net so that when he catches the fish, we can get the fish into the boat without losing them. And I do okay. I do all right, because I am learning, and he's teaching me all of these different things concerning fishing and bass fishing and how to do these things. But last week we were on the boat, and it was a beautiful day. It was in the 60s, a little windy, a little drafty, I suppose you would say, but you could just smell spring in the air. And to be on the boat for the first time of the year, it was another sign that Yehovah God was giving us that it was the beginning of his new year, and that we were marching forward into 2023. And there are still some good things to see, believe it or not. With all of the darkness, with all of the wickedness, with all of the attack upon our children and our schools, with all of the school shootings and the transgenderism agenda and the leftist mindset that is out there today, and the wickedness of our politicians who don't seem to know anything about how to speak peacefully anymore. There is yet still the movement of Yehovah God upon the earth, and his seasons continue to change, and he continues to bless even today. And so I just want to remind everybody of that. If you have been watching the news and you see the fall of the dollar, the American dollar, and the changing of the guard, if you will, concerning the powers of the world and the new navy that China has, and the power that they have, and the way that they have been hoarding grains and gold and setting themselves up to be the new superpower of the earth, things are changing. Things are not looking good. We hear wars and rumors of wars and all of these types of things going on all around us. All of the things that our Messiah told us were birth pains are happening. There is still good in the world. There are still good things, and Yehovah God is still, again, marching forward and doing. He's not just spectating. He is doing. But again, he allows us to have what it is that we ask for. And that's exactly what he's giving us, exactly what we ask for. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. We're going to talk a little bit about what it takes to walk out your faith alone today. And we're going to get into that. But before we do, I just wanted to very quickly go over the weather here for everybody here in the Carrollton County area. Again, we have a beautiful week ahead of us today. 67 degrees, plentiful sunshine, high 67 degrees, winds light and variable. This evening it's going to go down to only 41, so it's not going to be a terribly cold evening this evening. It will be 41, partly cloudy, winds light and variable. And get this, my friends, 67 today, 71 on Tuesday, 75 on Wednesday, 78 on Thursday, and 81 degrees on Friday. 81 degrees on Friday. And so for the next at least 4 or 5 days, we are in the single digits for rain. Is that amazing or what? That for us in the eastern Ohio Valley, that is amazing compared to what we've been through this winter, with it just being wet and monochrome gray and sloppy and what have you. So again, another sign that Jehovah God is in control. He is with us, and He is still doing the things that He normally does. And we will be out tilling the garden this week. Is that weird to like to till the garden? Is that a strange thing? You know, and I know it's supposed to be a curse, right? Because man fell in the garden, right? And so that's why we have to till the earth, and we have thorns and briars and all these kinds of things. But I absolutely love to get outside and to till the earth and to get dirty and to plant that garden and to get things going. Do you love that? Is it wrong to enjoy that? I don't think it is. I think that everything that you're doing in the name of Jehovah, God, our Father in heaven, is a blessing to you. And it doesn't matter what it is. And I am just so blessed, and we're so excited. My wife and I are both excited about going out and tilling the garden and getting that all started, and the flower beds in, and getting the yard all ready for spring and for summer. She's already done a beautiful job on the front porch already. She has her ferns hanging out there, and of course she loves chimes. My wife does. She has to put chimes out on the front porch. Always has those out there and going. And you can tell when a storm's coming because those bells will warn you. Yeah, there's a storm coming. You know, when the wind picks up and it gets drafty and something's coming in, you know it because the chimes are on the front porch are going off. You'll hear them. And so will the neighbors. Thank goodness we have some good neighbors. They don't seem to complain about that too very, very much, and if at all. And so once again, it is just a blessing. But we are looking forward to it, and we hope that you are looking forward to it too this morning. So, you know, as you're rolling into work this morning, or as you are getting your coffee this morning, whatever it is that you're doing, take these things in mind. You know, Jehovah God, again, still in charge, and still performing miracles and doing things that He does every single solitary day. And so what we're going to do right now is we are going to have a morning prayer here this morning. We'll do that here just shortly before we get into our topic of discussion this morning. And we will do that. We're going to take a quick break here. But once again, if you will, this evening, we will be back out on the water. Matthew, my son, and I will be doing the fishing tournament from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's 4 hours in the evening that we will be back out on the water. And if you would, please keep us in prayer, because I think that we can actually take this tournament this year. I really do. This very first tournament that we were out, we actually came in second place in the tournament. Second place. Yes. Thank you very much. Yep. The Velains had taken second place at the Lake Mohawk tournament this year in the very first tournament. And so, you got to love these sound effect buttons. These are fun to play with. But it was a blessing because I was at the back of the boat praying to Yeshua. And I told him, I said, I know you know how to bring fish in the boat. I know you do. You know, there's no question in my mind that you know how to put fish in the boat. You know, and we're not asking for a boat full of fish. We're just asking for some good fish to be able to compete in this tournament. And lo and behold, wouldn't you know it, we started pulling in fish and did very, very well. Of course, Matthew, as he always does, outfished the old man, and he always does that. And he pulled in just a great big bucket mouth fish that was just so beautiful. Just a big old granddaddy of a fish that almost got big bass. You know, big bass is the fisherman that comes in with the biggest bass, and we almost got big bass with that particular fish. Not quite. We were just beat out by a couple of ounces. The first place winner had it in the bag. But we did come in second, and it was just such a blessing for us to kick off the tournament. And with that many boats out there, there were quite a few other fishermen out there. And these guys, all of these guys are